this art journal. So part one, I actually answered a couple of questions that I've been getting through email and in person at some of the art demos that I've been doing. And this one, I wanted to maybe just do a little bit more on the mixed media and go ahead and finish up this book that I am working on. And so what I've done so far, just to recap, is I have taken a Bazzil Paper Basics Cover All 5x7 little scrapbook art journal, and I have covered the front and back in gesso. Any brand gesso that you like will work. And then I have taken some gel medium and laid that down, and then laid Tim Holtz Ideology tissue paper over the top of it, and I'm waiting on that to dry a little bit. And so then I took a little bit of Craft Smart acrylic paint. I think I bought this at Michael's. I'm gonna say that's their brand, so I did. And I don't do a lot with this brand. When I'm doing my professional paintings, I use professional quality acrylics, but I have this around the house, and you know, why not use it? So what I'm doing is I just decided that I had all of these little books laying around, and why not make a little bit of art out of them? So also I have stamps and ink pads and Dylusions Ink Spray and all of this stuff just laying around everywhere. And I thought, well, you know, I need to really do something here that where I can use all of this stuff. So we're doing a little bit of mixed media, and we'll be using some Liquitex Basic modeling paste. See if I can get the price tag off there so you can see the cover a little bit. I did buy that at Hobby Lobby. So I am an equal opportunity shopper. I will shop wherever I can get a deal or use a coupon or has great customer service. And so those are the things that are important to me. I've actually been known to pay a little bit extra if I know that a place is family run. There's a little shop in Tucson, a little art shop there. Oh, I can't remember the name of it, but I'll have to try to look it up, that is family owned, and they have one of the best open stocks of Faber-Castell polychromos. So I have been known to shop at little small mom and pop shops also, and I like to support small business whenever I can. So this is almost dry, and now I'm trying to figure out what else do I want to do with it. And I think what I am going to do is, for the back, I'm going to take regular white tissue paper right here, and I think I will move this over to the side a little bit so it can continue to dry. And I want to go ahead and use some of my Dylusions sprays and just cover some of this tissue paper. And I think I'm going to put a peacock feather on the front of the book. So I'm doing kind of purples and blues and greens and some peacock kind of colors. And I want to get it all mixed in there. This should dry fairly easily, fairly quickly. And then I'm going to glue it do some more gel gloss medium over the back side of that book and see what we get there. And let's see, this is Recollections, so I got this from Michael's. Spray ink, silver, acid-free, non-toxic. And I'm just going to shake this up and spray on here to give some pearlized, like sparkle and shine, and mix in there with some of these. And let's see, why not just a little more. Right. So there we have that. Now the mat that I'm using is just a really large piece of Bristol mat, and what I like to do with these, I've mentioned in some of my other videos is I like to cut them up and make bookmarks and you know, maybe some ACEO art cards out of them. So I never really waste anything. Keep it all because you can make something out of it. And I really like, I don't know if you can see it really well there, but I'm going to try to lift it up. So some of that silver is just really running in there and marbling and giving a really neat little texture to the tissue paper. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little more of that. I really like the way that looks. Now, if you like instant gratification and you don't want to wait for this to dry, you can actually take a heat gun and blow it just a little bit. But I think for my purposes, it's fine, you know, the way that it is. I can actually go ahead and start tearing that up while it's wet and go ahead and start gluing it. I've wrinkled it up to get a little more texture and dimension and pattern in there. And when I place it all over the back here, it will wrinkle up and it'll give you know, some more there. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing that. Move this out of the way just a little bit. This is something that's fun and therapeutic, and it doesn't have to be exactly, you know, right or the best thing since sliced bread, you know, but this is something that you do for yourself, and you can put your any kind of paper really into a book like this. So if you are a watercolor artist, you can cut out watercolor papers and put them inside here. And with these pre-drilled books, you really just need a needle with a thick eye, and you can sew, you can bind them, the papers in there with ribbon or twine or string, yarn, anything like that you want. And these are the pages that actually came with the book. These are just regular cardstock. So if you're a sketch artist and you just want something, you know, to write down some thoughts in or some quick little sketches, you go ahead and put that in there and that'll work for you. If not, you can actually take these and use them as a template to cut your watercolor paper, your Bristol. I've seen people gesso cereal boxes and use cereal box pages in there, and that turned out really, really neat. I really like the way that looks. So I don't have to cut it. You can tear it, do whatever you want to with it, but I'm just going to get some little pieces started here. And I'm going to, don't want all that water on my little sponge. These things are fantastic for doing mixed media. So it's just, you know, the sponge on the handle, and you can get those at just about any art supply store there ever was. And what I'm using actually is Studio Acrylic Gel Medium Gloss, and this is from Jerry's Artarama. And just in case you didn't see part one, but I've gotten some ink on it there, so you can see I'm a very messy artist. I don't keep anything clean. What's the fun in that? You know, mess it up, you'll have more fun. So I want to get a pretty liberal little amount, you know, on there, so when it starts to dry, it will actually help the tissue paper stick. And then I'll go over top of this, and it's okay with me that it has these wrinkles in them. And even look at this. So even if you didn't want to use the tissue paper, this is really neat. You lay that gloss medium down and you pull that up, and the ink has gotten there, and it's really, really neat. But I would like for the paper to stay on there to help give it some of that texture. I really like that, and I'm going to do that actually all over and put some more medium down. The gloss medium will dry clear, so it will be you know, shiny, and you can add you can actually add glitter or whatever you want to it, and maybe I'll go ahead and do a little bit of that, because who doesn't love glitter, right? And if you put it down into the gloss medium, it won't come off on your hands. So once that's dry, the glitter will stay on there. And I would like some more purple, so we're just going to go ahead and tear some more off here. Don't know if you guys know this about me, but purple and teal are my favorite colors in the whole world. So you may see me use quite a bit of that. And you can also see that as I'm doing this, some of the ink is actually rubbing off onto the background, which is great. I like that. The more color, the better. Did it in the greens for peacock colors, blues, purples, greens. Really like peacocks. They're a really beautiful bird. You could also do this with a hummingbird theme or an abstract owl, butterflies, dragonflies, anything really that you want to do. This is your art. You do it how you want to. I'm just showing you how I do mine. And you can also probably pick up that I don't really plan my processes out. I just say, you know, I think I'd like to do something today, and I sit down and I go at it and see what is it that I'm going to do. It's a surprise to everybody, so. And then when this dries, it'll be nice and glossy and pretty there. And so let's see, I did all this yellow. I haven't put any yellow on here yet. And if it makes you nervous to get your hands dirty, go ahead and wear a pair of gloves. I hardly ever wear gloves. My secret to getting things off of my hands, paint and ink and things that I don't want, is to use Dawn dish soap and baking soda. I mix it together to make a little paste, and then I scrub my hands with it, and it works great. I did have a really nice lady that I met this past week at one of my art demos. She linked me a product that she used to get some of the ink off of her hands, and I just wanted to go ahead and mention that here because I really appreciated her sharing this with me. It's called Reduran, R-E-D-U-R-A-N, Specialty Dye Removal Hand Cleaner, and it's made by Stockhausen, and it comes in, looks here like 100 milliliter tubes, and you can go ahead and search for this. It's in a green bottle, and it looks like on Amazon. So that is really great, and I love it when people share new things with me like that. I have actually ordered some, it's in my cart. I haven't checked out yet, but and I'm going to go ahead and try that, and if it works, maybe I'll use that instead. But in a pinch, Dawn dish soap and baking soda works great. So I think I'm going to do just a little more of this. Now, really, you guys, a responsible artist should probably put this medium in a different container and work out of it on a project, but you know, I do silly stuff like that all the time, so it's no surprise there, really. But I would recommend you put it in a different container. That way you're not mixing your colors, but you can see it's not really having a huge effect, and I'll just clean out that top layer when I'm done using it. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of the tissue paper laid down here. Hopefully this will dry pretty quick, but while it is drying, I will go back to working on the front of the book. These are really great because they lay flat, and you can do you know, whatever you want. And you can also cover the spine if you so chose to do that. I will probably paint the spine because I'm thinking maybe after I put the twine in there, I might put some hanging charms or beads on there, so it doesn't really need to have the tissue paper on there for me anyway. Oh, and I love the way that silver it is just really iridescent here in person. I wish that the camera would pick that up a little bit better. Maybe at the end I'll take some pictures and we might be able to see that just a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and cover the edge here, and probably what will happen is I will take the extra off, or just fold it over there, and maybe put some more here, and let's do a little more yellow. Do any of you guys have pets? My pets are absolutely driving me crazy right now. I've got a kitty cat back here climbing on stuff he knows not to climb on because I am distracted and I won't get the water bottle out. And get him while I'm working, and he knows that. So he likes to take advantage of the times that I'm distracted and be a little bit crazy. But I think all pets, and kids too, do that. My kids always did it. Alright, and I am just about finished here. Whoa, where did it go? Huh. That happens to me sometimes too, where I drop something, I forget what happened to it. All right, done with that. And I think because I just really love the way that silver mixed in there, and you can see it on my hands a little bit better. So it's very sparkly. Maybe I'm turning into a peacock. But I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and spray just a bit more on there and let that dry. So I'll move this over just a tad. And because I'm going with the silver theme there, I think, what I'll do, I'm going to light some of this up here. I'm actually going to paint with it, but I'm going to put some more colors on there. And maybe some more silver. Whoop, got myself. Oh, that's alright. It's not really a surprise to anybody. Go ahead and add some more colors with some textures. Ooh, and go ahead and do the spine there. Like that. Do some silver on the front. You can still see the butterfly is coming through a little bit there. Okay. And so one of my new favorite things to use is modeling paste. I love this stuff. You use this with stencils and you get this 3D effect on your project, what you're working on, and I just really like it. So there may be a few things that I will do before I actually put that on. I think I want that to be on the top. But I have lots of stencils, and maybe I might actually want to do a different stencil over the background. So let's see what we got there. So what I'll do is I will play with this, and you can actually do the modeling paste over top of modeling paste. Really cool. Yeah, let's see. Oh, I have this really neat. Yeah, I like this. Okay. So I have this, this is made by Pearl X, Jacquard and the name of it is Pearlex, and it's this like mica pigment powder stuff, and it's really cool, really neat to work with. Woo, this is a brand new one, and it gives a little sparkle and shine and some pigment to things there. So I'm just going to get a little, I think this is a filbert, it's a wash. So I'm just gonna put it in there a little bit and actually go over some of this. I really like sparkly and shiny, and there are ways to get that look without using glitter, so you can get a really neat little texture there. And rather than, I may decide to use the modeling paste with this stencil first, but rather than doing that first, I wanted to see how I like this, how it looks. Really have started to enjoy mixed media, and I think maybe my next few videos or my next few pieces will be on this, just because it's so versatile and you can do so many things with it and really explore how artistic you want to be in that medium. I enjoy the way that that looks. So here is what we have so far. That's really neat. Yeah, I like that. Now, I do though think that I wanted that butterfly to be a little more prominent. Sorry for all the background going on. Background noise there. The cats are really taking this time to go crazy. Maybe we have that one there in the background. These are stickers. I think I bought these at Hobby Lobby in the scrapbook aisle. So I'm not really great at scrapbooking, but let's see. So now I'm wondering, do I want to do peacocks or do I want to do butterflies, and let it go at that. So let's see. I have a few more stencils here that I might want to use. So what I'm doing is I'm just laying them out. Like I said, I normally don't plan anything, so I like to design as I go, and I really kind of like that. But then again, I also really, really like my peacock. But do I like the peacock over that? Maybe this will be for the back side. I like to give the front and the back equal amounts of love. And so, let's see. And what would happen if we put the butterfly back under there? Or, what if peacock and then butterfly? Let's just go with the peacock. We were going to do that. I have another one all set and ready to go over here. We can do butterfly on and see how that turns out. But I'm going to go ahead and stick with my original peacock idea. But I'm thinking, do I want to? I think I will go ahead and use some of the modeling paste. Sorry about that. And you guys, I know that this video is rambling a little bit, but this truly is my artistic process. I'm not a big planner. The only time I really plan out what I'm going to do is when I take commission. I do portraits and I take commissions on the portraits, and so when I'm doing somebody's pet or loved one, I'm very precise, and I don't get really wild and crazy with that because it is imperative that it absolutely looks like it's supposed to look. So this is the way that, beside the work that I do to get paid, this is how I relax. So art has to feature in my life in multiple different ways, and this is one of the ways that I just really enjoy it. I don't plan anything when I'm doing something just for my own pleasure. So what I did here was I took a plastic spatula knife, and I took my modeling paste, and we are going to just go over, right over top of the stencil, and the thicker you do it, the thicker it ends up drying and gives it that, you know, 3D textured look. And I don't want it all over the book, just in certain places, and I think maybe top corner, bottom corner is what I'm going to do. Alright, and maybe a little more for that bottom corner. And this dries very hard. I've even seen people actually do it really, really thick and then carve it once they're done. And you don't have to use a stencil with this stuff. You could actually just lay it down in different areas for textures and build up. So I'm kind of doing a little bit of a build up here just with the stencil, but you don't actually need the stencil. You can do it however you like to do it. Alright, so this is really neat. Watch this. Leave it there for just a second, and then go ahead and pull this up. And it makes that really neat pattern, and then I'm going to go ahead and try to smooth down my edge there a bit, because I have it hanging off the edge and that's not what I want. And up here as well, smooth out that edge. And then that will dry. Is really neat. I can go back in with some more of the Pearlex powders, and I can brush over top of that and give it a really neat look there. And I might do that with gold. So I really like the gold and the silver pigments. This one is Aztec gold, and this one is solar gold. So there's not a huge difference, but I think the solar gold is actually a little bit brighter. Probably what I will go with. This doesn't really take that long to dry. Maybe about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and stop the video just for a few minutes, and when that dries, we will go ahead and finish up the cover of the book. Alright, so this is drying now. This is our modeling paste, and it has dried and given a really neat texture over here on the corners. And so while I was waiting for that to dry, I went ahead and stamped out on a little piece of cardstock the saying. It says, "A life without dreams would be just a life." So I think I'm going to incorporate that somewhere here. Not quite yet though. I'm going to go ahead and take my paintbrush that I was using before and dip it into the Pearlex Solar Gold. If I can get it open. There it goes. Solar Gold. And I want to brush that here. I think, so it's not sticking exactly the way I want it to, so I think what I'll do is get some of this gloss medium. Put some of the gloss medium in here. And down here. Take some more. See what I can do with it. There, that's a little better. So I like, whoops, like the way that's looking now. Gives a little bit more interest there. Cool. I love these Pearlex pigments. They're just really fun to play with and give everything a neat little interesting look. You can use these on everything. I've used them in polymer clay work, just to dust over things and give them a little shine. It's really a neat art supply to have on hand. All right, now what do I want to do now? Let's see, is it time for this yet? I think so. I think I'm going to put it right there in the middle, and I'm going to use my spatula knife or my palette knife. It's plastic, and I will go ahead and get a good amount of the modeling paste on my palette knife, and I'm going to work from the bottom up. And I'll probably need to refill my knife a few times here to cover the whole thing. This is rather a good sized stencil there, so we'll want to make sure that all of the feathers have a nice coverage. You can tape your stencil down with painter's tape if you want to. I just forgot to do that, but that'll be all right. Does not have to be perfect. We're just doing this for fun. Okay. You can do all kinds of things with modeling paste. So if you wanted it to have a color to it, you could actually put it on your palette and mix in acrylic paint or these Pearlex mica pigment powders. There's just all kinds of things that you can do with it, and then, you know, when it dries with that 3D look, it will have the colors and the looks that you're going for in it. And that being said, I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and brush this actually with all different colors of this mica powder. So I've got a blue and some purple and some gold. I have silver as well, but I think I'll just go ahead and keep the silver to the back side and the gold here in the front. And so this should be interesting when we pull this up, I would think. Because that's wet there, it'll just blend right in. Now, all of my stencils are plastic, so they are washable. then, of course, you know, yellow and blue make green, so the gold and the blue are mixing together here to form some pretty greens. Going in there. This should be really pretty when we pull it up, when it dries. So it takes about 10 or 15 minutes for the basics modeling paste to dry. I want a little more gold in here. I really like that gold. And the blues and the greens are mixing together to give some really good blends. I like that. All right. Okay, let's see what we have here. Hopefully it's good. Oh yeah, I like that. Very good. Smooth out the edge there. I'll hold it up a little bit so you can see what we've got going on here. Oh yeah, that's really, really pretty. All right, so we're going to let that dry. While I'm letting that dry, I'm going to go ahead, so I have this silver here on the background, or on the back side with the spray that I did, but I'm going to go ahead and brush just a bit of the gold in there too, to kind of just make sure that it goes with the front. I'll pull it all together a bit. And it doesn't have to be anything, you know, well planned or thought out. I just want to get some of that color in there. And that's good enough for me. All right. And then once this is dry, I'll go ahead and finish up a little bit of this. And I think, maybe what I will do is possibly even outline this in some black with a black Faber-Castell Pitt pen and see if we can get a little more definition on that for the front of the book. This is going to be really nice when it's done. This will be the front. And should probably go ahead and start thinking about where to put our words. So a life without dreams would be just a life. I think I'm going to make this 2. Would be just a life. Oh, I like that there. So that's what we're going to do. So what I need now is a glue stick, which I believe I have. Okay, so what I've done is I just put it on pause there for a minute to go get a glue stick. This is just a regular old Elmer's school glue stick. You can do this with double-sided tape also, but these are so little that I just decided to do it with the glue stick. So basically I know where I want my words to go. And it's okay with me if they're not, you know, all going straight across. They can be diagonal or a little lopsided to give it such a, you know, not such a uniform look. You know, don't really like uniform looks when I'm doing the art journals or the mixed media. I like to be a little free, and I think that makes it more interesting and gives you more things to look at, maybe something a little more unexpected than seeing things that you would normally write the word straight across. Or the whole point behind mixed media to me is to be free with what you want to do, which is another reason I don't plan things out. Sometimes that does not work in my favor, and sometimes it does. So, now let's see here. I have a Sharpie. Do I want to do that? I don't think I want to do that. So let's see. So I was digging around when I was looking for the glue gun, and I found these little 3D butterflies in one of my drawers, and they are from Recollections, which means I bought them at Michael's in the scrapbooking aisle. And I knew that a butterfly was going to make it onto this book one way or another, and I think 2 of them have been. And so I am going to find a way to outline this peacock feather, and then I think the butterflies will go on either side, and then we'll probably be just about done with the cover of this book. And let's see here. Alright, so I am back, and I guess I don't have to say I'm back every time I come back in from the video editing. You guys have to forgive me. I'm so new to making these YouTube videos. Alright, so I have put a little sparkly acrylic gemstone right there in the eye of the peacock feather, and then we are going to just go ahead and glue the butterflies on. So I decided I did want butterflies after all, and they are going to go right on top of this gold filigree texture there that I have, and this one probably will come over a little bit onto the feather, which I outlined with the Faber-Castell Pitt pen. I think that one right there. And so this will also tie in when I do the spine of the book, because the butterflies are beaded, and I think I will hang some beads and charms from the edge of the book there. So I'm just going to hot glue these down, and they have this nice circular pad on them, and then I'll have just a little on the wings. I don't want them to come off of the book, so they need to be fairly well glued. And then I will press and hold. And that should stay. The little antenna, you can move it if you want, or you can lay it flat. Now this would be good also for a scrapbook cover. You don't have to just do art journaling. Make sure I have some on the wings on this little guy too. His little circular pad was gone. Right, and then I'm going to put him right here. And so the cover of my journal turned out really nice. I like it a lot. And then when I'm confident that everything is completely dry and the way that I want it there, I will go ahead. The back side is still a little sticky from the gloss medium, so it needs a little more time to dry, which is fine. I'm going to go ahead and probably paint this a little darker color and then go ahead and put my papers in there, and I will show you the finished product. Okay, so here is the finished product. Let me see if I can zoom in on this just a little bit. This is a 5x7 art journal, and I went ahead and used twine. You can see here I painted the spine a little bit of a darker purple to go with the rest of the book, and I used a thin twine to sew the pages back into the book. This is just regular cardstock, but like I said before, you can you can use these as a template, and you can cut mixed media paper or watercolor paper or whatever you would like to have in that. And you can always add more to this book just by placing it in here and going ahead and using the pre-drilled holes. Some other art journals, if you're buying a ready-made art journal, you just have whatever is in it, and that's okay as long as you're buying the paper that you like in the journal when you buy it. So this says, "A life without dreams would be just a life," and I thought that that phrase was appropriate to go with part 1 of this video series, which was, can you make a living doing artwork? Of course you can. Now, these art journals I usually just make for myself, and but you know, you never know, you may be able to find them on Etsy sooner or later. And if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like it. If you are a mixed media artist and you have any cool things you would like me to review or demo, go ahead and put that in the comments and I will see what I can do. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching.